Stress and anxiety are unavoidable, as the modern lifestyle is filled with busy schedules, unexpected setbacks, and contentious disagreements. Usually, stress and anxiety are healthy responses to everyday challenges. They ready the brain and body for the task, and provide motivation for completing time-constrained goals. And stress releases hormones, believed to aid in brain growth and development. Distress is the negative form of stress. And chronic forms of distress and anxiety can be harmful and sometimes deadly if not kept in check. So learning how to manage distress and anxiety could prevent long-term mental or physical health problems. Statistically, chronic physical distress increases a person's risk of cardiovascular disease, musculoskeletal disorders, workplace injuries, or other health-related problems. Symptoms of harmful physical distress include chest pains or feeling like your heart is going to pop. These symptoms are experienced most frequently by workers whose attention is in high demand, or workers who are chronically understaffed or overworked. Anxiety is characterized as being in a state of fear, worry, or distress about uncertain future events, and it's usually a healthy response that stimulates alertness and prepares a person to take on a current or future challenge. People often feel anxious before giving a public speech, before the first day of work, or before a pending deadline, which can motivate them to prepare more, take precautions, and work faster. But anxiety can also be unhealthy if it interferes with personal interactions, reduces self-confidence, or prevents one from following through on promises. Emotional distress is very different from physical distress in that it has many different causes. Experiencing a devastating loss, such as the loss of a loved one, a natural catastrophe, or being unable to pay bills, creates emotional distress. Various forms of harmful adversity, or using intoxicating substances, also tends to increase emotional distress. Emotional distress also tends to be more problematic because it can cause a person to over-exaggerate, overreact, and make poor choices, including violence or self-harm. Domestic shootings, mass shootings, road rage, suicide, and other destructive behaviors are all the product of intense emotional distress. Behavioral techniques for managing stress and anxiety focus on how people handle daily interactions. Striving to be a safe and predictable person and accepting responsibility for any mistakes requires exercising self-control and may also help to reduce stress. Try to think accurately about your situation. When getting too emotional, the brain over-exaggerates problems and perceives them as much worse than they really are. But if you step back and see the truth about your situation, it may not be as catastrophic as it seems. If you're having difficulty relaxing, it may help to lie down. Laying down forces the body to switch from sympathetic nervous system activity or fight or flight activity to parasympathetic activity or rest and digest activity. And that lowers the body's heart rate, slows breathing, and reduces muscle tension. Thinking of ways to simplify problems also reduces distress. Problems like slow traffic are not really a problem and should not be a source of distress. But more complicated problems can create a lot of emotional distress, and it's important to simplify those problems into smaller, more manageable problems to reduce emotional distress. Lifestyle techniques for managing distress focus on how you structure your daily routines. For example, if you create an unrealistic schedule, you'll always run late on deadlines, and that will increase distress and anxiety. Try to focus on activities that actually improve your situation. Instead of ruminating about past experiences, spend time working on projects that take your mind off those stressful circumstances. People often like to donate their time to worthy causes or have hobbies because it keeps their mind off negative realities, and that can significantly reduce stress and improve your sense of well-being. Support from personal relationships also helps to relieve emotional distress. Having time alone to think and work on projects does not have a negative effect on mental health. However, studies have shown that people who are lonely or socially isolated are statistically at greater risk of a decline in mental or physical health. One of the most comprehensive of these studies is the Harvard Study of Adult Development, established in 1938, which tracks 724 men and their 1,300 children. The project seeks to understand the factors that contribute to happy, healthy, and meaningful lives. According to the study, individuals who had more close relationships were happier than those with money and fame, and close relationships were more protective of health and longevity than IQ, social class, or genes. And that could be a problem because in the United States, social isolation and loneliness have increased in recent decades, affecting nearly 1/5 to a half of the US population. and more than a quarter of U.S. citizens live alone, with fewer Americans getting married and having children. Relationships reduce distress and anxiety for many reasons. During a time of significant loss, such as a job loss, a socially isolated person may not have someone to turn to in that time of need, and that may cause further losses, hardships, and burdens, and more emotional distress. So having someone to turn to in a time of need, and having social support during distressing times, can significantly reduce distress. Thank you for watching this video. These topics and many more can be found in my recent book entitled Decision Making Skills: A Guide to Handling Uncertainty, Driving Results, and Cultivating Well-Being.